Siomra
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tiny Room. Welcome back to On Siomra Beag. I am the Michael of Michaelandbenjaminspodcast, and I am joined, as usually, digitally, by the man who once said to COVID-19, COVID-19, you don't understand. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. It's Benjamin.
Hi, I got him. He's been weeping in the corner all afternoon.
You're the bloody Rorschach of international COVID-19 things.
Yeah, so that was actually a hallucination induced by not COVID-19, but being locked inside all day. Stir crazy. My poor parents were very alarmed as I did my best Rorschach impression.
Do us a quick Rorschach impression there, Ben.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
That is actually quite good.
It's just Batman. It's just Christian Bale's Batman
It's little small Batman.
with a smaller tone.
Mm.
That's it. That's
Do you
it.
want to set us up there for the theme music, Benjamin?
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music.
Very good.
Yes, I was very excited.
That was very shocking. Benjamin, Marvel, Disney, our new overlords, Ike Perlmutter, they have bitten the bullet and accepted that they're going to have to do something about Phase 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to have to, aren't they, Michael?
They're going to have to. They
This
can't
is the
just,
new normal. The digital tiny room is what we have for the foreseeable.
They can't just bury their heads in the sand anymore and go, oh, I'm a bloody cinema-producing ostrich.
We'll do it in May. Everything will be fine in May. COVID-19 will be switched off in May.
That's not what they're doing, Ben. They've rescheduled Phase 4 almost entirely. And Ben, this is the most non-exciting, non-news I think we've ever covered on here on Michaelandbenjaminspodcast.
They've rearranged Phase 4.
Yeah, the way they've rearranged it is the most non-exciting, non-news. So, Benjamin, you're aware of how the next movie was going to be Black Widow.
Yes, the Widow of Black, yes.
The Widow of Black, yeah. Her actual name is Blakuline Widowski.
That makes sense because she's Russian.
She's Russian, yeah.
Yes.
So Black Widow, Ben, which was supposed to come out next week?
I think so, yeah.
Is it supposed to have been out already?
We were supposed to have a little cinema club, Michael, and go see it.
Yeah, we didn't get to go bloody see the thing. So, Benjamin, anyway, that has been pushed back to November.
Good Christ, Michael.
Yeah, it's been pushed back to November when The Eternals was supposed to be coming out.
Oh, God.
The Eternals starring not Jon Snow, Rob Stark?
Rob Stark, yeah.
Rob Stark.
Robbie Starks.
Yeah. So The Eternals then, Ben, in turn is pushed back to February 2021.
Oh, God.
Which is when I think Doctor Strange was supposed to be coming out.
So is everything just being knocked back one?
Yeah. And then Doctor Strange is being knocked back to November 2021, which is when Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was supposed to be coming out.
Why is that being made? I don't understand.
And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Benjamin, has been knocked back to February 2022, which is when Thor Love and Thunder was supposed to be coming out.
No, I wanted to see Thor Love and Thunder.
And then Thor Love and Thunder, Ben, has been kicked back to, I don't know, summer 2022. It's non-news, Ben. Every one of them has taken one step back, basically.
I mean, it's good news for Doctor Strange because they're in a bit of a director crisis, aren't they?
The old Doctor Stranges have always struggled with directors. They're the Ant-Man of Marvel films, although
Yes.
Ant-Man is also...
Ant-Man is the Ant-Man of... That's just received its writer. I can't remember who it was. I read it the other day. Wait, oh, God.
Doctor Strange 2, you mean?
No, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man
has
3.
a new writer. Yes, Ant-Man 3 has a new writer.
Oh, very good.
You spin your wheels there very quickly about the non-news that all this is.
Yeah, so it's all non-news anyway, Ben. They're all still going to come out.
That's what it was,
Just
Michael.
Staggered. Go on.
He's bloody Rick and Morty writer.
Dan
He's
Harmon.
the new writer of Ant-Man 3. Jeff something. What's his name?
Goldblum.
It's not Jeff Goldblum, although I would definitely watch it. It's Jeff Loveness, which is a great name.
Love it. Yeah, Loveness. Jeff
Dr. Loveness.
Speaking of Rick and Morty, Ben.
Oh, you smooth sailor.
So smooth.
Cam sees did never a skilled sailor make, Michael, but in your case, it doesn't matter. That's my dog.
There's your
That's
dog. There's
Bowie.
Bowie. Hello,
Saying
Bowie.
hello on the podcast. Go on.
No, it's you.
Oh, it's me. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty finally teased the world again on April 1st, Michael. Gives a little tease. And they launched a trailer called Rick and Morty, The Other 5, because there are 5 episodes left in season 4, Michael, that we've not seen yet.
I thought they'd scheduled 700 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was just to wind people up, Michael. I'll be honest. I don't
good.
know how this will last past this series because it's kind of lost its fervor at this point. Although probably not, Michael. Probably not. It's probably I've lost my passion for it. So
aren't they getting a spin-off? Maybe not a spin-off, just a new thing from Dan Harmon.
Who's getting a spin? Oh yeah, I saw that actually. I saw something. No, it's from
it's
Justin
from
Roiland.
Justin Roiland. Yeah,
It's from
What's
Justin
it called again?
Roiland. I don't know. It's about aliens.
Yeah,
living
aliens
in the real world. It looks like
Yes.
Rick and Morty with a new lick of paint. It doesn't, it's super sciencey again. The aliens are super advanced and they're kind of dealing with the humans as best they can. And it seems very like it's like he took a group of Ricks and just put them together. But anyway, the trailer dropped for the new one and everyone got super excited, Michael. But then something more interesting got dropped on the Adult Swim YouTube channel as well. A quick little side hustle.
Go on.
And
Go on.
it's Rick and Morty set in feudal Japan.
Right.
And it seems to be modelled on cult comic sensation Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Which is, yes, of course you do, Michael, because you're a well-read man who's very in the know.
I've bloody read it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I suppose, imagine if Wolverine was a samurai.
Yeah.
And he stole a baby.
Yeah.
And then he travelled through Japan defeating assassins as a babysitting samurai.
Yeah. Like the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so that's what it... Yeah, like... Oh, holy shit, Michael. Yes, like the Mandalorian. Good grief. Yeah. Michael. Oh, yeah. You... Do you know what, ladies and gentlemen?
It's
Michael
just links
plays,
within links.
He plays dumb, but he isn't. He's to use the Irish vernacular, cute whore.
I don't play dumb, not knowingly anyway.
Do
I come across as dumb?
Oh, we have to have a chat. But anyway, and it's kind of 3D animated and rendered, and basically the Council of Ricks are the other ninjas and assassins in this, and they all jump through a portal, and it's just a really bizarre 8-minute short where Samurai Rick takes on Ninja Ricks. There's no traditional humor to it. Like it's not funny.
Good.
It's almost deadly serious, and it could have been made with anything. It didn't have to be made with this.
Good.
But I would imagine more people watched it because it's Rick and Morty. Check it out. It's up in its entirety on the Adult Swim YouTube channel.
Good.
And it's bizarre.
Good. Speaking of, Ben,
go on.
Did you see that the Astartes Warhammer 40,000 fan film released its conclusion this week?
I did, Michael, and I watched it. Yeah,
it's quite confusing.
Is it the conclusion?
I don't know.
The conclusion? It can't be.
I've read in a couple of places that it was the conclusion, that it's going to be left on a mystery.
Oh, he's hoping to get that sweet 40k sponsorship, and then he'll make more.
I don't know, because the old War Hams, Ben, the Warhammer, the
Hammy Wars,
shop, those lads, the Bacon of Conflict.
Yes, Bacon of Conflict is a great name.
That's what we'll call our rival company. That Bacon of Conflict. So what we're talking about? Yes. No,
sorry,
they're moving into animation anyway. They've hired a couple of kind of smaller, slightly independent-y animation studios to do a series of animations on different kind of topic-y things.
They only have to hire one guy, Michael.
Just hire that guy.
Just hire that guy.
Yeah,
he's great. Yes, Michael. I'm spitballing here as something of a Bacon of Conflict novice. But I'm assuming that the ball that they
don't
found,
know, Ben.
The ore that they found.
I'm going to stop you in your stride there. Don't know. It doesn't seem to be anything from Warhammer.
You
officially.
Son of a gun! I thought it was some kind of chaos thing from Warhammer.
It might have been. It might have been some sort of alien thing. I don't. That's the thing when it's an unofficial thing, isn't it? It looks like something he's just made up himself.
Well, it looks good though. It's well rendered,
doesn't it?
Well put together.
Good.
Very scary.
I like it. Yeah,
very scary.
I like when the Inquisitor accidentally make mind contact with it, and then the two Space Marines put him down.
And they're like, "Whoops, the daisy! Bang bang!
Yeah.
We'll have
smash
less
him
of
in
that."
the head. Yeah, we'll smash him in the head.
That's one of my favorite things, because often in that particular kind of scene, we have the classic kind of, no, he'll be fine. He'll shake it off. He'll be fine.
No.
But in this, it's like, nope, not taking any chances. He's going to die.
Kill him with punches and guns.
Kill him with punches and guns. Hopefully both in equal measure, which
Benjamin,
is a lot. Yeah.
Would you do me a favor, please, and stop interrupting my video call with Bowie?
Sorry.
I'm trying to have a chat with your dog here, and you keep talking shite about popular culture. It's very upsetting.
That's funny, because Katie does video call me at least twice a week just to talk with the dog.
Good.
That's the only reason she's there.
Benjamin,
Yeah.
Where are we? What are we talking about?
Well,
Benjamin.
Before we move on, very
Right.
quickly, Michael.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
Artemis Fowl, which we talked
Yeah.
about on this very pod, is to go
Yeah.
direct to Disney Plus. It's lost its
Poor Artemis Fowl.
it's lost its cinema release. It needs to go straight
Poor
to Disney
old
Plus.
Artemis Fowl. It's no Black Widow.
No Black Widow.
Wazowska.
I think it's a real shame. It got lost in development hell, and now it's to go straight to which is the equivalent of straight to VHS.
Yeah. It's not going to do well, is it, Ben?
No, it's. Well, I mean, it might. Maybe it'll find a huge audience because it'll be brand new content, and people will be really excited because they all have Disney Plus now.
I don't know, Ben. You were excited about it, and you talked about it on the podcast, so you gave it the curse of Colopy.
Is that something that I have?
Artemis Fowl.
Can I just ruin
Fast and
things?
Furious 9.
Oh.
Batman versus Superman. Everything you've been excited about.
Oh. Was I excited about Fast and Furious 9? That doesn't sound
Oh,
like
yeah,
me.
yeah. Madly excited.
Was I excited about Batman versus Superman, or did I directly say that it was going to be a giant flop?
No. You were very excited. You said, I can't see how this could be anything other than the perfect film.
That doesn't sound
It's
like
on the
me.
poster, Ben. It was on the poster.
Michael, if you said it, it's probably true because you know me better than I know myself. But
Exactly.
I'll be honest, Michael, from my, quite frankly, shallow understanding of my own soul, it doesn't sound like me.
No, yeah, you definitely said it. You were very excited about Batman versus Superman.
All right.
You said the only thing more exciting than Batman versus Superman is the prospect of the Justice League on the big screen.
And that's me. That was definitely me because there's nothing I love more than Jason Momoa going, yeah.
You still haven't seen the Justice League? Oh no, you have.
I have, unfortunately.
Benjamin.
I really shouldn't have though. Yeah, go on.
Speaking of Ben's
Justice
recommends, your favorites, your famous segment, Ben's recommends.
What segment is this? What are we
It's
talking
your
about?
segment where you recommend things. Ben's recommends.
Go on.
I watched one of your Ben's recommends over the last couple of days of quarantine, and I have to tell you, Ben, very good, very enjoyable.
that was worrying there for a second.
No.
Which one is this, Michael? Is this Ghost Tree, the latest?
No. Oh no, I didn't actually read that. I watched it. It was a TV show. I've been watching Kim's Convenience.
Oh, good. You mean
Very
you watched one of
good.
my recommendations, Michael?
Ben's recommends, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Kim's Convenience is phenomenal, Michael.
It's very, very good. Now, I'm only 11 or 12 episodes into season 1, Benjamin, but really excellent piece of work.
It's just hilarious.
Very, very funny.
So entertaining.
Great characters.
Actually interesting themes dissected around race and immigration and things like that. It's very interesting, Michael.
Yeah. Odd in places. It doesn't quite adhere to some of the norms of television in places. A little bit of a spoiler, for example, Ben. When Janet...
Yes.
Is that her name? Yes.
Yes.
When Janet meets the kind of sexy young policeman...
Yes, he's a very sexy young policeman.
Isn't he a very sexy young policeman? Their relationship progresses incredibly quickly, and we don't get to see any of it.
We don't get to see any of it, Michael.
Nothing. It's quite odd in a lot of ways like that. But, Ben, while I was watching it, I was thinking Mr. Kim is one of the greatest comic creations on television these days.
One of the most disappointing things that I ever did, Michael, was I watched him accept one of the various Canadian television awards. That's not his real accent.
Very disappointing.
He's Canadian.
Very disappointing. He's as Canadian as the day is long, eh?
But he's clearly an excellent actor.
Well,
with
I
a
mean,
keen
he's
understanding of Korean culture and accent.
He's a first-generation Canadian immigrant, so basically I think he's doing his own father.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's happening. But it's very good, though.
It's excellent. And of all of the actors in the series, he is the most consistent in maintaining his accent.
Oh, yeah, he never falters.
Yeah. For example, the mother in the show, she's very good too, but every now and then you can tell she's doing a voice.
Yeah, but not with him. With him, it's like, no, that's him.
Spectacular. He is a Homer Simpson in the early days of The Simpsons level creation.
Yes. He will
is
stand the test of time. He should be winning many awards.
He is an absolutely spectacular combination of character and actor and facial expressions, and it in a lot of ways the show, Ben, and thank you for the Ben's recommends, because I really genuinely didn't ever think about it. It reminds me, I'm not saying it's similar to, but reminds me of the early days of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I can give you that. There's a lot of depth to the characters, and yet it's hilarious. And
they're idiots and they do stupid things, but there's reason behind their actions, and they have, like, maybe in 20 years, if this ran for 20 years, he would be a buffoon of the highest order.
Yeah.
But he's not currently, and he's one of the greatest characters on television at the moment, I have to say, Mr. Kim.
I'm glad
Very
you enjoyed
good.
that so much, Michael.
Oh, so good. So good. And you know Simu Lee, who plays Jung,
yes.
he's going to be Shang-Chi in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten
No
Rings.
way.
That's him. That's the very fella, yeah?
That's the
very
very
fella there himself.
There you go. Look at him now.
So if his dad doesn't make an appearance and go, Jung!
You'll be very upset.
I'm very, very upset.
Yes. What a ripped man. What a body. He'd be good as a martial artist.
He's in good shape, yes.
Peak physical condition.
Yes.
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 Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Michael.
Very good. I'd thoroughly recommend it for a 20-minute sitcom, which is simultaneously a very conventional sitcom, but also plays a little bit with the conventions of sitcoms.
It breaks a couple of rules here and there.
Yeah, it's good. It's very enjoyable. It's very entertaining. And like I said, Mr. Kim, one of the best comic creations of recent years.
Yeah, he's great. Great, Michael. Just such an enjoyable character. Michael, speaking of Shang-Chi,
yes,
who I'm fairly certain is a chosen one of some kind.
Oh, you've skipped over one of the things, Ben.
Ah, no, go backwards. Never mind. What I skipped.
Speaking of characters who... Picard.
Yeah, speaking of characters who aren't chosen by fate.
Well,
on the surface.
Did you watch
on
Picard,
the surface.
Ben?
No, I don't watch Picard.
Okay, well, the season has ended. I'm here to bloody tell you, Ben.
I'm
here to bloody tell you, Ben. The season has ended.
Right.
And let me tell you, Ben. I'm here to tell you, Ben.
No, I'll let you finish.
I'm here to tell you. I've been listening to a lot of American podcasts, I think, because I've picked up some intonation. I'm here to tell you, Ben. I'm here to tell you that it's a good series.
Is it now?
Yeah, it is. It's a good series.
It's been getting mixed reviews, Michael. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, Michael.
It has been getting mixed reviews. It's very well produced. It has a good, compelling plot. Things happen in it which are interesting.
It's very well important in entertainment.
Yeah, it's very good entertainment. Is it good Star Trek, Ben?
Oh, that's where it clips its wings.
That's one of the issues with it. Is it good Star Trek? And is it good Star Trek, Ben? No, I don't know.
Okay.
Not really. It's a good series. It's a very good series. It's a very entertaining series with good mysteries and good action and good goings on, and and it's got Star Trek stuff in it. Like, for example, Ben, Romulans.
Oh, a bloody classic Star Trek conceit. Romulans.
The Borg.
Borg. Aliens in space. Imagine.
Aliens. Robot. Are they robots? Are they aliens? What are they even? Attractive older ladies.
Usually.
It's got all of those things. So it's Star Trek in that sense. But it's not really Star Trek.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have that vibe. Doesn't have the right.
It doesn't have the vibe.
Is it the lack of uniform that upset you, Michael? Were you hoping for a spiffy uniform?
This is the funny thing, Ben. It didn't upset me because I actually still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it despite it's not being very Star Trek-y, rather than it upset me.
Now, Michael, let me ask you this.
Go on.
Let me ask you this.
Go on, then. Go on.
Do you think that the mixed reviews it's currently receiving are probably from butthurt Star Trek fans, not Star Wars fans?
Some. Yes, some. Not all, but some, I'd say.
Do you think it just wasn't Star Trek-y enough for the gang?
For some people, it wasn't Star Trek-y enough. And not just that it wasn't Star Trek-y enough, that it was anti-Star Trek.
Oh!
Yeah.
Sir Patrick Stewart taking a few pot shots.
Well, people saying that the swearing had been all but eliminated by the 24th century if we were to believe Star Trek.
Get out of town.
Yeah, get the fuck out of town, as they would say on Star Trek Picard.
Yes. Get the fuck out of town.
Don't piss me off, number one.
Nice.
Or I'll give you a punch in the fucking head.
I'll give you a ruddy good pissing up.
Benjamin.
Yes.
Do you remember a few months ago when Star Trek Picard started, I said there's hints of the Mass Effect about it.
Yes. Yes.
Because I said, he's assembling a motley crew.
A gang.
A gang of ne'er-do-wells, and he's a kind of slightly renegade military officer, not military, Starfleet officer.
Patrick Stewart, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
It went full Mass Effect. I don't know if you know this.
No.
But Benjamin, I'm just going to describe the plot of something to you, and you tell me if it's if
Picard
it's
or Mass
Star
Effect?
Trek, Picard or Mass Effect.
You are very
So-
distracted today, Michael. What are you playing with below the microphone?
I'm playing with Rewind. He's a little transformer.
Oh, Jesus.
There he is. Look.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
What was I doing?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was describing the plot.
Yeah,
and then
go
you're
on.
going
You're
to tell me
describing
if it's
the plot,
Mass
then I have
Effect
to play
or
a little
Star Trek
game.
Picard.
Go on.
Yeah. So Ben, there is on a distant planet. There's this kind of ancient technological device, and
Yeah.
it's very mysterious. It's kind of this sort of beacony thing,
Okay.
and if you touch it, you get these kind of mental images, these shocking mental images.
Flashes,
of,
if you will.
Yeah, flashes of mixed media, multimedia flashes with images and foxes rotting and
Like a collage.
skull. Yeah, but mixed media, and it's of the apocalypse basically,
Oh, no.
and that drives you a bit mad when you
It
touch the
would.
beacon.
It would.
And it turns out, Ben, that this beacon is actually there as a kind of harbinger of these aliens that live outside of the universe.
Yeah.
And they are ancient technological beings.
Okay.
And the beacon exists so that when the beacon comes into contact with sentient synthetic life, that will summon forth these higher forms of synthetic life,
Right.
who will then come into the universe and purge the universe of organic life forms.
Oh, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what have I just described there?
Any H.P. Lovecraft short story.
Well,
No,
about
you've
H.P.
described
Lovecraft,
Mass
no.
Effect, Michael. You've described
No,
Mass
Ben, I've described Star Trek Picard.
Effect. You done got me.
You've fallen for one of my classic ruses again.
Is the higher form of sentient life Data?
No.
Oh.
Data and the colony of robots, what was her name? Soji and
Means
anyway,
nothing to me.
the data type robots
Right.
are the robots who have evolved enough to make contact with this higher robot life.
Right.
They are, for want of a better term, Ben, they are the Geth of this.
Mass Effect has Geth, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Thanks. Right.
It's the same plot, Ben, is what I'm saying.
Same idea, Ben. Same.
It's the same. It's the same. It's bizarre. It's the same.
But does it work, Michael?
Yeah, it's still good. It's
And
still
it-
good.
And if you twist the camera angle on Amazon Prime, can you see inside Commander Picard's head? Because of bad animation and rushed design.
No.
It's a whole Mass Effect thing.
Oh, very good.
Because
But
it's
that's
terribly
Mass Effect.
designed.
Yeah, that's Mass Effect Andromeda.
I think like one or two people will get that joke.
Yeah, I didn't even get it, Ben, and I'm quite a big Mass Effect fan.
You're quite a
as
Mass
you know.
Effect fan. You're a
Yeah.
massive Effect fan.
Mass
Oh, God.
fan effect. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
But
anyway.
Star Trek Picard is good. Is it Star Trek? Not really. Is it Mass Effect set in the Star Trek universe? Yes.
Yes.
Are you all right with that? Yes, I am, because I quite like Mass Effect and Star Trek.
Well, that's pretty good. So
It didn't really upset me.
that was a solid, no spoilers kind of recommendation there, Michael. Well done.
I spoiled it completely.
Nah, you didn't. Nah.
I did.
Nah.
The aliens.
Everyone's
Ben,
played
it-
Mass Effect. Nah. Nah. It's grand. It's grand.
So Ben, as it turns out, that it's Daj's sister Soji. She's kind of the chosen one of the robots.
oh,
Who is
nice.
I'll set you up there.
Nice. Thanks. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
No, she's not really. I'm just kind of trying to set you up.
Ah, okay. Because Michael,
Yes,
I'm
Benjamin.
going to tell you the little story that inspired this week's topic because I've told it to you
Go on.
before.
Yeah.
Michael, I was passing through this fine city once upon not a lockdown,
Pre-lockdown.
pre-lockdown. Oh, halcyon days.
Oh, Ben, you
the-
could just go around the city taking photos of whoever you wanted.
Whoever I wanted, oh God, halcyon days.
Just anyone who was smoking a fag.
Any Tom, Dick, or Harry with a fag in his hand and a
Yeah.
dream in his heart.
Yeah.
I was there quite late in the evening, Michael, round a 11ish, 12ish. And Michael, for any
Yes.
denizen of Dublin City, they'll find that should you stroll upon Grafton Street at a certain hour,
Yes.
approaching the witching hour or later, you will find
Yes.
large groups of people who may or may not be inebriated, Michael.
Yes, the English.
Well, that's Temple Bar, Michael, upon the
Oh, yeah,
witching
sorry,
hour.
yeah.
But you can find the Irish on Grafton Street as they head towards Harcourt to continue their hedonism or whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
one
yeah.
of the evenings, I stumbled upon a large group of girls.
Oh, did you now?
And And Michael, they were huddled in what seemed to be a serious pep talk for one another.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, it's not for me to say if they were hammered or not. I'm guessing
So
they might have
probably
been.
were. Yeah.
Might have been. And they kind of gave themselves a little pep talk.
Good.
And they were just getting up to move forward to the next stage of their wonderful evening. Debauchery abounded.
Yes.
And one of the girls let rip at the top of her lungs.
Yes.
We are the Chosen Huns! Which was my favourite thing ever, Michael, because a Hun here in Dublin is a very particular type of Dublin young one.
Yeah, it's a type of Dublin young one.
And they
Usually
strode off
orange.
into the night, Michael, to see
Yes.
what fate had in store for them. And Michael, it stuck with me. It seared itself in my mind. And that brought me to this week's episode, Michael, which is all about the Chosen Huns.
Yeah, very good.
We're going to be taking a look at Chosen Ones, the trope, what makes it, why is it sometimes awful, and what have people been doing with it? How have been playing around with that, Michael? How have been subverting that bloody trope as we've gone through the ages? Yeah. Michael, I have some good news for you.
Yes.
There's bloody Transformers in our future.
Oh, good.
We're bloody transforming.
It better not be that. It better not be that prick hot rod.
No, it's not. There's no hot rod. We are
no
hot rod free.
But hot rod is
Hot
famously
rod
the
free.
chosen one. Okay, we'll get
The
back
Chosen Hun. Yeah, no, not in this case. We're going on to something different. So before we begin, I suppose I should really deconstruct what the Chosen One trope is. Basically,
Hold on a minute, Ben.
yes.
What even is the chosen one?
Oh, thank you. Very nice, Michael. To quote a very famous quote that I can't remember the name of. Some men are born great. Some have greatness thrust upon them. And it's very much the former there, Michael. Some people are born great. And they have been chosen by fate or destiny or doom or whatever iteration of that you believe in, and they're going to save the world.
Yes.
From something terrible.
Yes, like the Winchester brothers.
Yes, the Winchester brothers for some reason were chosen by fate. Initially they weren't, Michael, but as the series progressed, we decided, they're actually the mortal vessels for bloody Lucifer and Michael. So so Chosen One is someone who's basically been given vast amounts of untapped power that they don't know how to access yet. I'm sorry to say, Michael, that in the realm of pop culture, there are very few female examples of Chosen Ones. They don't pop up as much. I mean, Rey has come up. There's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Isn't she literally called the Chosen One?
Yes, I think she's literally been given that title. And that leads us to, Michael, probably the biggest problem with this trope is that it's just so fucking lazy.
It's omnipresent, Benjamin.
It's one of the big ones, Michael. It's in all forms of fiction. I mean, it's there in the Bible. Jeebus the Chosen One. He turned out to be a bit of a damn squib, but look, we won't get into that. And I think that's the problem, Michael, is it's bloody lazy. It's quite often a lazy way to give your character the means to achieve something. One of my least favourite things in any form of fiction is when the hero gets their knockdown in the final battle and suddenly they find their hidden inner strength that was there all along but they didn't know about. And I suppose, it's just a real irritating trope, Michael. I always think it's quite lazy. I don't know if it achieves anything. I'm always a bigger fan of characters that kind of have to work their way through against all odds, a ragtag group.
So you're a bigger fan of, say, Han Solo than Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, because, I mean, what's that about? I mean, come on. Luke Skywalker, all of a sudden, he has untapped potential. He's the greatest Jedi ever lived, except for Darth Vader and, And I just don't get it. Michael. I think it makes things lazy. I think it gives characters an unearned sense of success and And I think it would be really disappointing for audiences. I think audiences find it very tough to root for a chosen one. I think, and I dare say, Michael, that the main reason that the new Star Wars trilogy failed is because certain demographics don't like it when women get to be in the spotlight. But it might also be the fact that she's just ridiculously overpowered for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that she's what was it?
Palpatine?
Yeah, she's Palpatine something. She's part of a pairing with Ben Solo.
Oh, was she?
With Adam Driver. Remember they were called the Digim of the Force or something like that?
I didn't really pay any attention to that.
Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't have.
Ben, I don't know if those movies weren't that successful because of the small but vocal group of fans who didn't like them. I just think they weren't very successful because they weren't madly very good.
Yes, well, I mean, that's because they relied on tropes like the Chosen One, Michael, and wrote it into the grave.
I see what you've done.
Yeah, so it could be that, or it could just be a very vocal demographic that doesn't like women on top of things. But
yeah, but like I'm saying, I don't think there's enough spending power in the misogynist market to make a massive difference in the result of the Star Wars films.
Well, that's probably
I just
true,
think
Michael.
The second one was so divisive, regardless of what you think about women or the Force, or it was just so divisive and such an odd movie, and that whole bloody diversion off to the casino planet, and
the casino planet is bizarre. I watched that again recently, actually. Because my brother wanted to see it. One great Star Wars fan my brother is, and he wanted to see it, and we sat down and watched it. And just he had been very quiet, and I kind of been watching his expressions as he processed all this new adventure. And he just stopped in the middle of it, and he went, "What the fuck are they doing in Las Vegas?" And it was a very key moment. I had to think about it and go, "Yeah, what the fuck is this?"
Why are they in Las Vegas, Ben? They're on Space Planet.
It's a space planet. Space Vegas.
There's Benicio del Toro. Look.
Look at him there. Look how non-consequential he was in the entire fucking run. How to waste a character. But anyway,
go on.
That didn't bring into that. There are a couple of tropes, but one of the really popular ones is the bloody birthmark, Michael. Our Chosen One has a birthmark. Now, sometimes people play with that in a really flexible way. J.K. Rowling has a good example. Where we had kind of a flexible Chosen One prophecy. It could have been Harry Potter or it could have been Neville Longbottom, but it really depended on who Voldemort chose to attack first. And he chose the Potters. So Harry Potter gets his lightning bolt scar. There's no real significance for the lightning bolt, as it turns out in the end. But it's his bloody birthmark, and he becomes the Chosen One to save the wizard world. And all the pressure that comes with that, Michael, but we get to that later. There are some other... Go on.
Are these Chosen One... tropes that you're going on about here, are they more common in teen or young adult literature?
Oh, I think they're almost a goddamn staple of the young adult genre.
Percy Jackson.
Literature. Percy Jackson is son of the gods, and he's a special god because he's a son of one of the big three, which is Zeus, Poseidon, or Hades. I don't know if he has a birthmark though.
Does he have a birthmark?
It's a huge staple of young adult fiction, and I'm not sure why that is, Michael, but I'd hazard a guess, and this is complete hypothesis on my part, I hazard a guess that many young people harboured the wish that they were special and chosen and destined for greatness inherently.
Don't we all, Ben?
Well, I mean, I think it kind of fades after it's either your first kid or your first mortgage payment. Take your pick. I think it pretty much disappears after that. I think reality kind of slips.
Take that, family people.
I think that kind of slips in and you go, okay, all right, maybe my kid's the chosen one. Maybe that's...
hopefully, a bit of luck.
Hopefully, with a bit of luck. I checked the chosen lottery at this point. But yeah, I think a lot of young people kind of use that as escapism, the concept that they might be... very, very special deep down within. And I think that's important for people to have when they're younger, Michael. By no means am I pissing in the cornflakes of young adult fiction. No. But I do think that it wears a little thin the older you get. Because you kind of get sick of being told that, well, I'm special and I'm this and I'm that. There are plenty of examples of it, Michael. I think probably one of the ones that most people will be familiar listening to on this podcast is The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Elephant?
The Fifth Elephant, yes. The Fifth Element with Mila Jovovich, where she's just this hyper-powered being sent to save the universe. And all Bruce Willis has to do is tag along.
But wasn't that... wasn't she created for that purpose?
Yes, but she's still a chosen one.
Okay.
Still falls within that trope.
Does it? Okay. I thought it was more the kind of Luke Skywalker, living on a farm. And
hidden away from the world.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were getting towards. Or like Neo from The Matrix, who's just a regular John Smith working in a computer lab.
I think that is his name.
I think so.
No, it's not John Smith. Something Smith, though. Oh, no, because that's Agent Smith. What's he called? Mr. Anderson. That's it.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Yeah.
But I thought that was the type of one that bothered you. They're the type of one where...
Oh, that also bothers me, Michael.
Even two people making a podcast, either one of us could turn out to be the son of The only person who came to my mind was Hitler. I mean, Hitler is the equivalent of Emperor Palpatine, so I mean, you can see where
absolutely.
I was going, but I don't think
Michael and Benjamin's podcast, Sons of Hitler. Join us next week on the Sons of Hitler podcast.
I don't think being the secret grandson of Hitler would give you any special
I don't think I want to be the secret grandson of Hitler. I really, really hope that's not true.
But you know what I'm saying, Ben?
Yes, I do get the idea. Well, I mean, that's probably one of the laziest forms, Michael. So let's trail that little hypothesis of yours down the road.
Trail it back.
I suppose one of the really irritating things about Rey, in terms of her backstory, is that I don't think the writers knew who she was from the first one.
I know, but they were going to subvert it, Ben. They were saying you're not the chosen one. You're not mad important.
Well,
and
they did try to do that, and then
in episode 9 they went, only messing. Yeah,
only messing. And it turns out that you're really special, really, really special.
Even more special than you thought you might have been special. You're the specialist special, whoever specialed.
Congratulations. Yeah. So I think I think a hidden past is probably one of the most annoying tropes in the Chosen One, where it's like, but I'm just a humble farm boy. And it's like, but wait.
Or are you a Luke Skywalker?
I think one of the big ways that we try and find that one is the magic weapon, or the chosen weapon,
right,
where only the chosen one can wield it. And they kind of do it by mistake. You know what I mean? They pick it up and they're like, you shouldn't have been able to wield that. And and it's always very entertaining, Michael, to kind of see that trope come to the fore. I mean, the most famous example there is King Arthur.
King Arthur in the Guy Ritchie film, Guy Ritchie's King Arthur.
Oh, God.
You fucking pick up the sword, mate, innit?
Fucking Arthur.
Fucking Arthur. You fucking white boy, you fucking gonna fucking chop off the head of Merlin and whatnot.
That's just called Arthur and the Lads. Arthur and the Lads do swords and shit. Is what that's called. It's a bloody... what a movie. But anyway... I took a look, Michael, and we could sit here all day and pick holes in the Chosen One trope.
We won't, Ben. We've got about an hour.
Because that's not really a great topic, and it's been done before. So what I decided to do, Michael, was we take a look at the subtle ways in which this has been parodied or undermined or even subverted throughout different pop culture facets.
Okay, go on then.
And what I really wanted to take a look at here, Michael, one of the things I don't like is the Chosen One, but one of the type of conflicts that I really enjoy is Chosen One envy. Because nearly in every single Chosen One narrative, there's a character who is just so gosh darn jealous of the Chosen One.
Right, go on.
And what I've always felt, Michael, about that is that's a completely justified emotional response to someone just turning up out of the blue and completely undermining all your efforts.
Yeah.
It'd be like if I one day it was replaced by a robot that's just perfect for podcasting.
That'd be great. But the only issue with that, Ben, might be that if the robot did show up, it might somehow lead on a sort of robot apocalypse.
I mean, my life would be over if the podcast was gone anyway, Michael, so it's not...
very good. And only Commander Shepard or Jean-Luc Picard would be able to save us.
I hope it's Patrick Stewart. I'm here to save the day.
There are 4 lights. And you know the most terrifying thing is, Council, I could actually see 4 lights.
Good. Gold. But yeah, so the first one that jumped to mind for me, and the first time I remember kind of seeing the trope, was, of course, Boromir from Lord of the Rings.
He doesn't like it.
Boromir's no fan of Frodo. He's like, you're a midget. Give me the ring. And then to really rub salt in the wound, then there's Aragorn, who is actually the chosen king of Gondor, and he's like, hey, you don't get to actually be the heir to the throne. Get the fuck out of here.
Poor old Boromir.
Aragorn.
Then he got arrowed.
Then he got arrowed to bits. Poor old Aragorn is probably a good example of the hidden past Chosen One, where it's like, oh, I'm actually the long lost son of the heir to Gondor. Surprise! And it's just like, of
course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are.
Yes,
you were written by an Englishman, and therefore the having of royal blood is the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's all that matters. You just have to be of royal lineage. One of the ones that I found, Michael, for the kind of the chosen envy or chosen wannabe thing is there's always a mad kind of dash from these characters when they get even a glimmer that it might be them that's the chosen one. And one of the characters that I found, Michael, and you'll have to spread this one out a little bit for me, you'll have to stretch this one a little bit for me, is Getaway from Transformers. More than meets the eye. Get away from Transformers. More than meets the eye. Now, Michael, I just found this in my things, but apparently he has the ability to become a prime
Right.
And what he becomes is kind of a glory hound, where he seeks out opportunities that he could kind of come into contact with the Allspark or become a Prime or something like that. And he becomes a danger to everyone around him. But I'm not sure how you feel about that, Michael. No?
Let me think about that. I don't remember that. I just remember Getaway. Getaway turns out to be a baddie, basically.
Yes, he goes mad, I think.
He goes a bit bonkers.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I don't really remember the whole idea about wanting to become a Prime.
Oh,
Getaway
okay.
Prime.
Well, apparently he has within him the ability to become a Prime.
So he has an affinity for the Matrix, as they say in Transformers lore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's
is
what
that
he says.
is that why Gateway was a baddie? I completely forgot about that. I just thought he was a prick.
Well, he might be a prick that wanted to be a chosen one. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
could be either or.
It's a pretty common thing in Transformers, because in Transformers you have the bloody Matrix, Ben. The Matrix.
Yes, go on. Tell me a little bit more there.
You have the Matrix of leadership.
Yes.
And when you get the Matrix of leadership, you become cool and whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
so Optimus Prime was
cool?
just some bloody basic ass nerd. And then he got the Matrix of leadership, and he became a cool Optimus Prime dude.
Oh, really? Is that what it is? So you just what do you do? Give it a hug or?
No, you put it in your chest.
You have a little. Okay, it's very.
Your
very...
chest cavity opens up, and if you're compatible, the Matrix opens for you, and then you become a Prime.
That's very penetrative.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit weird. Optimus Prime had it, and then, of course, in the 1984 movie...
Of course.
1986 movie...
Obviously.
Hot Rod got it.
Prick.
And Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime, and he's a real prick.
Rodimus.
He was useless.
Sorry, Michael.
But Rodimus Prime is...
No, wait.
Rodimus Prime,
don't.
voiced by Judd Nelson.
Don't.
What? It's Optimus Prime. It's his bloody name. It's the name of the fella. It's not funny.
It's not the name.
It's Transformers. Transformers is serious.
We just talked about how penetrative it is.
Rodimus Prime.
And you're telling me that Rodimus Prime is not worthy of a small pause.
Yeah. Rodimus very well. Thank you very much. But Rodimus Prime is a prime example of a chosen one, a real basic chosen one story, because you have this character, and Hot Rod is basically Luke Skywalker. He's a young Transformer fishing and driving around and being cool and being trendy and being modern and being voiced by Judd Nelson. And then...
Oh, Judd Nelson, to the end.
And then he overstretches himself and he manages to get Optimus Prime killed, the prick.
Oh, what a prick.
And then in our darkest hour, it turns out that Hot Rod has an affinity with the Matrix, and he's able to open the Matrix of leadership and become Rodimus Prime.
Yeah, you see, I hate that kind of secret past history.
Yeah, you've mentioned. That's why I've brought it up.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot that Getaway. That was Getaway's motivation.
Apparently, he has an affinity for the Matrix.
Anyway, go on.
There's no need for you to get too caught up in that, Michael. Because the next one I wanted to take a look at was The Chosen Zero, which is, I think, my favourite of the lot. Where it turns out that the chosen one that they put all their hopes and dreams on is absolutely fucking useless.
Classic.
I enjoy a false prophecy as much as the next
Harry
one.
Potter.
And Harry Potter, bloody damn squib.
If Hermione wasn't there, he would have died in the first book.
Or before that from child neglect and abuse.
Yeah. Well, that's not funny.
Because he was in a really bad situation.
Yeah, that's less funny.
Yeah, it's less funny. But anyway, Preacher is a pretty good example of this. Bloody Garth Ennis getting his teeth in there. There's the Holy Order that kind of kidnaps Jesse Custer because they want the power of Genesis, and it turns out that they have the long descended son or ancestor descendant of Jesus Christ.
Oh yes,
in a cage, because the way that they've come up with that is to keep the bloodline pure, and as we all know. From the royal family, if you try and keep the bloodline pure, it leads to an awful lot of frailty and inbreeding.
Prince Philip's.
Prince Philip, Prince Charles, buck teeth, male pattern baldness.
Hey,
the whole 9 yards. You have a fine head of hair, Michael. You just choose to shave.
There's nothing to do with inbreeding. Has nothing to do with baldness.
Anyway, so I mean, and it's famously a complete half-wit in a cage that soils himself all the time, which is
and insults like people from other nationalities.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty weird. And then the Genesis itself is pretty interesting. I think they did a better job of it in the TV series, where Genesis is going through the various people that claim to be chosen ones from different religions.
Ah, very good.
And exploding them, because that's not true. Claiming to be the chosen one, claiming to have prepared yourself all your life for this moment doesn't amount to squat. If you ain't the chosen one, you ain't the chosen
Just
one.
going to explode.
So there are lots of examples of that. There's a good inversion of it with Billy Batson in the Shazam movie that just came out, where he has to kind of talk to the wizard and explain, look, man, if you're looking for a perfect chosen one,
Yeah, you're never going to get one.
it ain't around. I'm the next best thing, bud.
Yeah.
And
Better
then, Michael, coming back to
better
Transformers.
me than Mark Strong.
Better me than Mark Strong. Well, is that true? I would have enjoyed seeing a really evil Mark Strong just acting the maggot. That would have been enjoyable. But coming back to Transformers, Michael, bloody Starscream gets elected as head of the Decepticons at one point, because there's a prophecy and he thinks it's about him, but it turns out, nah. Sorry, Starscream.
Nothing's about you.
Nothing's
about you, you jerk.
Get the flip out of town,
Get out of here.
Starscream.
Get out of here. You're not
bloody,
chosen.
Yeah, bloody. One of the favourite ones from my childhood, Michael, was Peter Pan from Hook.
Right, go on.
He's grown up, Michael. And he is definitely supposed to be the chosen one.
He's played by Robin Williams.
But he's bloody awful at it.
Yeah.
Because he's now an accountant or a banker of some kind, and he's just no fun, no banter. All aboard the banter bus, destination not here. And he's rubbish, and he kind of has to earn his title as the chosen one. So it's a nice inversion of that trope where it's like you gotta earn it. There are other great examples, Michael. If you listened to the podcast last week, you would have heard me recommend the fantastic movie Road to El Dorado.
Yes.
Where a more primitive civilization.
A more what? Sorry.
A more primitive civilization.
Oh, Ben, you can't call civilizations primitive.
Mistakes two Spanish.
Oh, you're
con
going for
men
it.
for
All right.
gods.
Okay, you're sticking with it.
It's the Aztecs. It's the ancient Aztecs.
Oh, the old
Michael.
primitives. Right. Okay.
The ancient Aztecs. Are less developed. Is that better? Less developed, less harsh?
No, different.
What do we call it? No, because they're ancient.
Right.
They're a less advanced culture.
Oh, all right. That's very imperialistic of you.
All right, fine. Different. The different culture mistakes the two Spanish con men for gods. And those two lads are out to get as much gold as they can stuff into their pockets and do a runner. So it's a fantastic example of the chosen zero, and hilarity ensues as they try to come up with how to be gods on a very mortal budget. It's pretty good. And then the only other example I could find is Ash versus the Evil Dead, the third one where he gets transported to medieval times.
And he has a gun and a car.
And he has a boomstick and a car, and that's what makes him the chosen one. The other kind of great trope from that one is it's tough at the top.
Right,
Michael.
go on.
It's tough at the top. Gosh, it's awful tough to be the chosen one.
It is very tough.
So much pressure. So much bloody staring at you.
Poor old Buffy.
Yeah, poor old Buffster.
Yeah.
She's just having a tough old
Then her
time.
mum died.
Probably one of the better examples of that is Avatar from Avatar. Aang. Poor old Aang. Aang gets an awful lot of pressure.
Not a very good film.
Not a great film. Great series, though.
I've heard. I've only seen very small parts of it.
Really did a mess of that one. There's also other great examples there. We can take a look at Frodo. Poor old Frodo has an awful time.
Is Frodo a chosen one, though? Frodo's...
Nah, not really.
Because he's just a normal dude. He doesn't turn out to have any great power or any great response. He just is a normal dude who... I think Frodo's not a great example. I like Frodo because he's just a normal dude who's been thrust into a crappy situation by his selfish uncle.
He's had greatness. Yeah, his selfish uncle.
But I don't know if you could necessarily say Frodo has had greatness thrust upon him, because Frodo never wanted to do it. And not only did he never want to do it, but he doesn't become some all-conquering hero who rides into battle at the end.
No, that's true.
He has to make a sacrifice of his things, and he comes out of it traumatized and never recovers.
That's true. He has to leave. He has PTSD.
He essentially has
PTSD.
PTSD. I think Frodo's not an example of a kind of great chosen hero. No kid grew up saying, I want to be like Frodo.
Yeah, no, nobody ever
Everybody
said that.
wanted to be bloody Aragorn. Just go on any online role-playing game and look at how many XXX Aragorn XX XX
You don't want to. Do not go onto Google and type in XXX Aragorn, ladies
or
and
even
gentlemen.
like
That's not
or
a-
even how every person who's ever played an online role-playing game and they play an elf, the character's name is XX Legolas 69420.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know?
XX Legolas. Oh, goodness. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you never,
And then, of
you
course,
never
there was
get people playing, I'm going to name my character after Frodo, the great chosen one, Frodo. Frodo's basically...
Dildo Baggins pops up a lot on a lot of forums.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I've seen a lot of Dildo Baggins.
That's pretty funny.
They kind of pop
it's,
up a lot.
It's funny
because it's a dildo.
Yeah, dildos are inherently
Yeah.
humorous.
And Jesus famously had a bit of a tough time.
Yeah.
He had a
I'm
real-
bloody sick of you, Ben, always throwing everything back to Jesus, to be honest with you.
Throwing everything back to Jesus. No, but on a more serious and Christian undermining note, Bethany from Dogma has an awful time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
as
one.
the
Yeah, that's a
chosen
good
one, the chosen descendant of
Yeah.
God. She has an awful time, and she just refuses to call constantly. She's like, nope,
No, not me.
don't want to deal with this.
No.
This isn't for me. Not a fan.
Quite disappointed.
No great fan of prophecies am I.
Quite a disappointment that she didn't end up back in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't get her.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't
I
interested.
guess she kind of shunned the Hollywood limelight.
Or maybe she's a Scientologist now or something.
Oh, I really hope not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, they all end up Scientologists. Sure, I'm a Scientologist.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for bloody telling me, Ben.
Yeah. I'm the one that. It doesn't matter. That's a poor joke.
What were you going to say?
It'll just annoy some folks that we probably want to keep sweet. So, anyway,
I don't know.
Ladies and
Are you-
gentlemen.
Are you pandering to big Scientology there for a second?
no, I'm pandering to Comic Con
Okay.
because I want to get.
Oh,
invited
those
back.
lads. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them.
So yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, Benjamin.
did we miss any? Does the trope of the chosen Hun irritate the crap out of you? Does it grind your gears? What are great examples of storylines that don't utilize the chosen one? One that was given to us, kind of in a completely coincidental way, is from good friend of the podcast Shane, who spoke about Hitchhiker's Out of the Galaxy. Arthur is a great example.
Yeah, he's
of,
not a chosen one. He's
a
just
character
useless.
that's had greatness. Yeah, he's just useless, and he's not prophesied at all. And it's a great story. So, what other examples do you have, ladies and gentlemen, of that kind of thing? What are your counters to the chosen one storylines? What really butters your biscuits when it comes to a main character?
Well, I like bloody...
in fiction.
I like Saitama from One Punch Man.
Yes,
Because he's gotten to where he's gotten through hard work and dedication.
Yes, he has to do a rather rigorous workout.
Yeah,
Michael.
Ben, I've been doing it, but I don't. It hasn't worked for me quite as well as it worked for him. I think mostly because I live mostly in the real world.
Well, I mean that often limits my expectations of fictional workouts and things like that.
Yeah. But the great thing about him is that he's got there through hard work and determination, and he doesn't really care.
No, not at all. He suffers from an almost a detachment from reality and regular folk.
Yeah, it's good. I like that show.
I don't think you'd enjoy that, Michael. I think that'd be a very difficult existence for you.
No, I
You're-
like One Punch Man, Ben. I like it.
You're quite full of joie de vivre.
I like One Punch Man, Ben. I'd like to see more of it.
Yeah, fair enough. If you want to see more of One Punch Man and mix obsession with it, you can check out our brand new video series dropping this week where we take a look at all things Saitama and his one punch workout that you can do in quarantine. Woohoo! So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of Chosen One storylines? Get in touch with us. There are many, many places to do so. If you're inclined to use a more traditional internet approach, you can go to seomrabeag.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
Means Tiny Room in Irish. And I haven't updated it in the last couple of weeks because I forgot, so I better do that now.
Look, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. What are you going to do? If you prefer a more new age social media engaged version, we're on the bloody gram at Sean Rebeag, SEOMRABEAG. Just that.
Yeah, it's
There's
still
no
Tiny Room in
.com.
Irish, kind of.
Because it's Instagram. And then, further than that, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us
Give us a review on Apple Podcasts, for God's sake.
You now have no excuses. You have all the time in the world.
Get on it.
Get on it. Give us a review. We used to be nice about it, ladies and gentlemen, but it hasn't really increased the numbers, so now I'm going to be slightly mean
bloody
about it.
get on it.
And see if that works. Do it.
Put you in a,
Do it now.
Put you in a grapple. We'll give you one punch. We'll give you one punch right in the head.
If you're listening to us on Spotify, follow us, please. And share us with all your friends. You can tap the little triangle, the unfinished triangle with the two little circles, and share us on your Instagram story for all your friends to
or else
listen
we'll
to.
give you a punch in the head.
Are we being needy? Yes, but I hallucinated about being Rorschach this week. This is the least of my mental delusions, so it's fine. Yeah. And if you're listening to us on Google Podcasts, I don't know what you can do on Google Podcasts. Just keep listening.
Hey, Google, play the latest episode of Michael and Benjamin's podcast on high volume on my smart speaker.
Except that this is the latest episode of Michael and Benjamin's podcast, and it'll be quite confusing for it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go off and comb through my family history to see if I actually have better things waiting in my future.
Probably not. Good to see what you've done there.
That's it from us this week, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Oh, goodbye.